From the Lone Star States and the Bluegrass State, this is your two dads. Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like an ambassador from Somaliland says that Ilhan Omar is a racist, and also there are secret code words if you're black for the Federal Aviation Administration. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We got kind of a, yesterday we talked about the show before this Ilhan Omar thing, before basically anybody on the news was talking about it. And then we get a little follow-up on it, a little update. We got some other news. I have something super exciting for me and for none of you, which is this thing right here. And,
turn your mic up a little bit. Something happened between the start of the show. Everything sounded fine at mic check 3 seconds before we hit start, and now it sounds like doo-doo again. So just turn it up, and you're fine.
It's got to be restreamed. Let's see. Audio.
Yeah, just turn it up. Because you went straight down. As soon as you started talking over the card, I was like, what the crap?
Yeah. I'm going to turn the auto gain control of Restream off. Does this help?
Yes, that does help.
Yeah. Restream. Thank you, Restream. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ. That's Deacon over there. We meet here Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning on the dot, exactly 8 o'clock. And we drink coffee and we talk about the news, culture, politics, pop culture, comic books, movies, TV, stuff. We share all of the daddy type opinion. Daddy. Oops. We share all of we share all the opinions that you don't need. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like, subscribe. Okay, Deke.
Today is my baby girl's birthday.
Speaking of
daddy stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of daddy stuff, today is my my littlest little baby girl, Maggie, that used to live in my arms. She went with me everywhere. I was told many times, she's got you wrapped around your finger and she can get anything you want. And I'm like, yeah, and
yeah. What's your point?
What's your point? I know this. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. I'm playing the game. You don't think I'm getting something out of this?
Right.
Absolutely. I'm getting something out of this too, or I would not let it go on.
She looks very disappointed in me. I have to say.
She does. You want to show? This is Maggie. I posted this morning. I was like, I said, JJ, have you listened to the songs yet?
The one morning where I listened to the music, I got all the news stacked up that I was like, I'm gonna listen to the music, and then you're like, yeah, I know you haven't listened to the music.
So we use this. This is an older picture of her, and we use this, and I'll put a little meme. I've got a meme maker, and I'll make a little meme like, did you blah 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 blah. And I'll send that to my kids when they won't do something. Like, we've asked Kendra to clean the room. She won't clean a room. I'll be like, Maggie says, have you cleaned your room yet? So that's my little baby girl that does not look like that anymore at all. She is
growed up.
Growed up. She's a 12 and she's as tall as me and she's growed up and she's makes my heart sad. I want to pick up my little baby girl again.
Well, maybe you'll get some grandkids and then you can just carry around grandkids.
I remember like it was yesterday, the day that I was carrying her one day, and she was bigger, but I was still carrying her around because I used to carry her everywhere. We were like a symbiotic duo. And she goes, Daddy, one of these days I'm going to be so big you won't be able to carry me anymore. And she was like, it was exciting for her. And when she said that, I was like, stab me 50 times and shoot me in the head, because it wouldn't be as painful as what you just said to me. And so there was one day that I picked her up, and when I set her back down, she walked out of the room, and I looked at Ashley and I said, that was the last time I ever pick up my daughter. And she's like, how do you know? I said, because when I picked her up, my back popped 3 times and I knew I could not do that again. So,
yeah.
While your little girls are younger,
every night before they go to bed, we sit in this like reader chair I got out here, and they sit in my lap, and I read them some story, some comics, some books, some whatever. Read them some story, and then they get, because as I'm reading it to them, all of the energy just drains out of them, and they get all sleepy. And then we put the story down, and I'm like, okay, let's go to bed. And both of them at the same time on my lap are like, Daddy, carry me to bed. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, no. You a lot of times I'm like, no, just get up and go to bed. But
No.
you know, like they
Do that
make me
every
feel bad.
time, please.
So I'm like, okay. And so I grabbed them both. I stand up and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are getting so big.
Mhm.
I can't get the leverage.
If your child ever says pick me up and carry them, do it. Because
Yeah.
one of these days you won't be able
They
to.
won't. Yeah.
You
All
won't,
right.
and they won't ask you that forever.
All
So if
right.
they
Let's
say,
do.
"Daddy, carry me," you better carry them.
All right, let's do music. Let's do
All right,
music.
we'll
Your
do
theme
music
this
real
week.
quick. Yeah, since we're talking about the daughters and my girl's birthday, the theme this week is songs about daughters. The song today is an awesome song by Stevie Wonder I've always loved. Isn't she lovely? It's a great song.
Mhm.
He wrote that song about his daughter. Good stuff. So check it out on our Discord server above
That's
JJ's
it.
head.
That's
over
all.
there.
That's all you're gonna say about that one.
Yeah, why not?
Isn't she lovely? Okay.
It's a good one. What do you think?
Yeah. I like it better than the Paul Simon one.
You didn't like Father and Daughter by Paul Simon?
You can't like
Okay.
everything.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
like
all right.
everything.
Yeah, it's not a
And
big deal.
I've heard the Stevie Wonder song like probably I don't know.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
it's an
1,000
older
times,
song
but,
from the
you know,
70s that we grew up on. You know, we've heard
Yeah.
that song a million times.
Probably been in the background of movies and stuff a bunch of times.
Yeah, and I never, I didn't know for the longest time that it was about his daughter because I really just didn't pay. I don't, when I listen to music, I don't listen to lyrics first. The lyrics are usually the very last thing I listen to when I listen to a song. So the first 10 times I hear a song, I'm really not listening to the lyrics. I will
really?
catch the lyrics, but I'm not like focused on them. I'm listening to the instruments. I always listen to the drums and the bass first. That's the first things I hear in songs. So,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was about his daughter for the longest time. I'm like, oh, he's talking about his daughter.
Hey, you folks out there that are watching the show, send in your favorite daddy, daughter, or I guess daddy, son, right? Whatever. Send in your favorite song. What's your favorite song? You know, let us know. All right. Big news. Okay, so yesterday we did the story about Rep Ilhan Omar, and I played the clip of Twitter on Twitter of her speaking in Somali, I guess, and speaking to her constituents, which you would think would be American citizens really concerned about America. Turns out they were Somalians that are really concerned about Somalia. So Republicans are now calling for Ilhan Omar to resign over her appalling speech. But first, I think this one, where's this one? This is the one I want to share. Here we go. But first, in reaction to that video, we have this story. Somaliland ambassador shocked by Ilhan Omar's ethno-racist rhetoric in that speech. A government official from Somaliland, an unrecognized state considered by Somalia to be part of its domain, slapped Rep Ilhan Omar after the Democrat from Minnesota declared that her first allegiance to Somalia was to Somalian interests. Let me make this make a little bit of sense. It seems like, because I'm not very familiar with Somalia, because I don't care about Somalia, but it seems like Somalia has this neighbor, Somaliland. And Somalia thinks of Somaliland in the same way that China thinks about Taiwan. That's ours. And Taiwan is like, no, we are our own selves. Somaliland is, no, we're our own selves. And Somalia says, you're mine. Deputy Minister
Somaliland sounds like the worst theme park ever. I do not want to go to Somaliland. I wonder how much
the railroad track goes a circle all the way around. If you go over there, there's a snow cone stand, and right over there you can just get shot.
Come on, kids, we're going to Somaliland.
Do we have to?
We have to.
We got season pass. We're gonna make use of this.
We bought the season pass. We're going every day. Get the towel.
And the first aid kit. Don't forget the first aid kit. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Rhoda Elmi said she was shocked by Omar's ethno-racist rhetoric during a speech on Sunday, in which, according to one translation, she said Somalia was for Somalis only, and they would liberate the occupied territories that belong to Greater Somalia. Here, I got this. Here's a quote. We were profoundly surprised. First of all, were you really? This is Rep. Ilhan Omar. You know you're not profoundly. You basically were like.
I love it when they use adjectives, don't you? We just get so creative in society with adjectives. If I would have known that, I would have studied a lot more, in school if I knew we were going this way.
We were profoundly surprised, even shocked, on discovering the remarks made by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota in a recent public forum. Elmi wrote, condemning her statements as regrettably unbecoming of both the office she holds and the constituents she represents. Her expressions were lacking in common decency and revealed a significant lack of understanding of basic facts. Specifically troubling were her endeavors to revive the once violent and dangerous ideology of Greater Somalia, or Somaliland, which caused so much death, destruction, and conflict in the Horn of Africa. The ambassador went on to slam Omar's use of ethno-racist rhetoric, adding that it was particularly bewildering for those who recall similar racist attacks she endured not long ago of being not American enough. And since she took a similar approach and accused the entire Somaliland nation of falsely claiming Somali identity. So, nobody's happy with
when
this
they're
woman
doing it, though.
Right.
It's not racist when anybody else is doing it, but if they have anything done to them, if they have what they say done to them, then yes, it is racist. Any race. I'm not saying them as one race. I'm saying any race. Right. Yeah. Even white people do that. White people are racist, but when somebody calls us a honky, we're like, hey.
I think honestly, cool with honkies. I've never had anybody call me a honky. Seriously, I think I haven't. Like,
I really haven't ever felt like the only time I complain about. The only time I've ever complained about racism to white people is the fact that we're paying for the sins of our fathers, basically.
For sure, yeah.
And that's a TLDR. Yeah. We are paying for the sins of our fathers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
They're presenting the bill. And I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
That's not my bill, bro. I didn't do that.
So yeah, she should be out of there. I thought she should have been out a long time ago. She married a brother.
You always bring that up. Maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, about her personal stuff. I do know this. I said yesterday on Twitter, before the even show, I posted, I was like, she should register as a foreign agent if she's going to talk like this. She really should register. But Republicans, who are normally limp-dicked and weak, are saying something even more.
Hey, don't forget
more extreme. Oh, yeah. Okay. Republicans call for Ilhan Omar to resign in disgrace over appalling Somalia First speech. I'm sure that she's going to take this advice to heart. So basically, the Republicans are using this kind of like to pick at her a little bit. And then she's going to say like, oh, they're being racist.
We are in an era in history. This is not 1990. It's not 2000. It's not even 2010. Okay. It's 2024. And in 3 and 4 years, we've had 8 million immigrants come over to this country. I'm sure at least 1 or 2 of them are from Somalia. Okay. And now we have this representative that is, first of all, not putting America first. She's putting another country first. We have an open border. We're not going to be the United States of America anymore. Why don't we let Russia have a vote in America? And then, any other country, why don't you just send a representative over here and we'll let them have a vote so that what the hell? Average Americans like me and you and everybody else, hopefully, that are listening, are pissed off because we're not taking care of. Like I said yesterday, we have our priorities all mixed up, and we've had our priorities mixed up for 150 freaking years, and nobody says anything about it because we're all stupid, and we're all like, well, I guess those people are smarter than me. They know what's going on. I've got my eyes closed and blinders on. I'm trying to take care of. This is what happens, man. Go to your library and just check out a history book on the fall of Rome. You don't even have to do that. You don't even have just Google. You can find a free one and just study about Rome and be like, holy crap.
Hey, I just want to pause our tirade for a moment. Thanks to Joey77 over on Rumble.
Joey.
He said Joey Said happy birthday, Max.
Say that
How
every
am I
time.
supposed to say that? Am I supposed to know that's Joey?
Joey.
Joey.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. I don't know if I've ever done that to you before. Whoa.
Whoa.
Where does it say his name? I don't see it anywhere. Oh. I don't know. Okay.
All right. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, let's do our number 2 story, the secret code words. I thought this was just amazing. This is on revolver.com.
Okay.
Oh, do you have anything else to say about Ilhan Omar except for her boyfriend / brother, husband, or whatever?
I'm
You don't
just
care what
like I said, we've got what are we? No, I don't.
Nah, yeah. No.
Just let me.
All right. I mean, like, whatever. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, created a. Okay, so this story is a little bit like hyperbolic, but then also like, hold on, what are they really doing? The FAA created a list of secret code words for Black people to use. They could pepper into their resumes, and then their resumes would auto get populated and preferentially stacked higher than white or Asian applicants. No, that doesn't make sense. Well, what's going on here? So let's see. Here's the story. This is originally posted by Austin on Twitter and then picked up elsewhere. There is a let's see. There was an email circulating that said, WSC brothers and sisters, it has been confirmed there will not be a selection panel for the open bid on February 10th. Instead, FAA Human Resources will scan resumes and the computer will group resumes based on keywords, aka buzzwords. And these buzzwords will flag your resume, thereby giving you the advantage over thousands of resumes that may flood the system. A list of these buzzwords are attached to this email. This list is to provide it to you through one of our members in HR. I encourage you to keep a lid on this attachment and focus on your resume. So instead of having like a panel of people like reviewing applications, they just took tons of resumes and scanned them, and then they had the computer OCR them, and then like, oh, if it said whatever this word is or that word is, it would group them into kind of a stack, and then forward it would filter them a little bit. Except if you take that list of code words and you're like, oh, this is their code words, and you only give it to one group of people, that's preferential treatment. So it seems like somebody inside the FAA figured out whatever the coding was that they were going to do, took that list and then passed it out to their friends.
You're just you're helping my argument without me having to say anything on why people shouldn't fly on airplanes.
Oh, this has nothing to do with them falling apart while you're in them.
Oh, my bad.
Although it's also probably not good that they're not necessarily scanning for merit and instead
if you are having brain surgery, JJ, do you want the most skilled brain surgeon no matter what color or race he is, or do you want the diversity hire brain surgeon doing your brain surgery?
Is there any upside for me going with diversity higher? Like, do I get
dying and getting to go to heaven and meet Jesus?
Oh,
I mean, you get to meet Jesus. You and JC finally get to hang out, but other than that, no.
Okay. I mean, I just didn't know if like maybe my credit score gets bumped or something.
Might get a little bit of money.
Your wife,
your widow might get a new car.
Great. Okay. I was just wondering if there's any upside whatsoever. I guess there is not. All right. So, hey, this is a good reason, guys. Whatever industry you're going into, I guess when you're in college, you need to make sure to sign up for these clubs so that whenever somebody does some illegal and awful stuff, you can benefit from it because they passed you a list or unethical.
Dude, I don't know what my ex-wife worked, and she doesn't work in the intensive care anymore, but she did. She worked in the emergency room. She's a nurse. She's higher up now, and when she was a nurse, we get along great. We have a very good relationship. When she was a nurse, I don't remember where she worked at. It was something, but she was telling me that the medical profession, and I've looked this up, and you can Google it and find the list. It's very you can just Google it. But the medical profession all has these little, you know how they use, abbreviations for everything. I
Oh
need a
yeah.
bip, dip, drip, da bip, da burp, da burp, burp, sound like an auctioneer sometimes. You
Yeah.
watch those TV shows. Well, they have little code words for different types of people too. You know?
Oh really?
Yeah, because I only remember one, and you can look up a list, and there's a list that I've seen before, but I only remember one that she said that she's heard them use, and it's a PGP. We've got a PGP and the ER and the blah 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 and PGP stood for poor gene pool.
Oh.
A poor gene pool. That's yeah. And so you don't think law enforcement and all these other
Thanks,
people?
Ricochet.
See, buddy.
He got to
You
work
don't think these other people
safely
have
because of us. I'm sure.
those code words are used for everybody.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when I was in sales, I would profile. It's called profiling, by the way. You can profile people. When I was in sales, like
Not a bad thing.
20 years ago, we would profile customers as they walked in the door. You could tell pretty quick, like, that's somebody that's not going to spend money. That's somebody that's going to spend money. That's somebody that's going to ask his wife for permission before he spends money, which would be a me. And and you're like, am I going to waste the time? That's somebody that just wants some help. It's just researching whatever. Not going to buy anything.
Ashley and I are people watchers, so that when we're places and whatnot, we like to sit there together and just talk and watch people. And I like watching what I love watching what people wear and how they and my favorite thing is everybody has this little invisible bubble around them. That's your personal space bubble, okay? And it's about 2 feet for most people.
Mine's longer, much larger.
You let your loved ones in much closer to your bubble. You're very comfortable. But so everybody's got their little bubble, and I like watching when people get in other people's bubble, and you make people. It's kind of like 2 magnets, and you're making them push away from each other when the magnets are backwards. And so sometimes when I'm standing there, I will purposefully step into the I'm not like stepping, I'm like standing right next to him, but I purposefully get a little too close and see how long it takes for them to move to move,
wander around.
It's so fun. I love doing that. And you never say, or just say something to them. Hey, how are you? Nice day. Not a creepy, but just oh, I love messing with people. Okay,
what's up?
Scoot back.
All right. We have another Harvard story. Speaking of people that do research, big research, super important. And yet also this is related to diversity, integrity, and equity.
Gayness?
Dying.
No. She's not president anymore.
No, not gay. This is no gay jokes. No more gay jokes. That woman's gone.
No, she still works there.
Oh, she's gone from being the president. But like how many plagiarists could one Ivy League university even have? Well, the answer is apparently more than one. So here's another cheater. Harvard chief diversity officer has been accused of plagiarism. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? I'm so shocked.
Boy, Chat GPT is doing some amazing things these days, and don't tell me that Chat GPT hasn't done some beautiful things. It's finding plagiarized papers.
Yeah, Harvard chief diversity officer Sherry Ann Charleston has been accused of plagiarism in a new complaint, which alleges that Charleston claimed credit for her husband's work.
Ooh.
Oh. Harvard has received some complaint claiming that its chief diversity and inclusion officer plagiarized some of her academic works, lifting large portions of text without including quotation marks and even taking credit for a study conducted by her husband.
That woman right there in that picture, for those that don't know,
that's gay. That's Miss Gay.
That's gay. She's gay.
This woman is so gay. In her, let's see. In her 2009 dissertation for the University of Michigan, for example, Charleston is accused of quoting and paraphrasing a dozen scholars without proper attribution. Interestingly, one of the allegations involves Charleston's sole peer-reviewed article from 2014 co-authored by her husband, LeVar Charleston, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The study, also co-authored by Geraldo Jackson, is accused of having the same methods, findings, and even interview subjects as a 2012 study written solely by LeVar Charleston. The 2014 paper appears to be entirely counterfeit, said Peter Wood, head of the National Association of Scholars and a former associate provost at Boston University. This is research fraud, pure and simple. So, it'll be only a matter of days before the diversity officer, Sherry Ann Charleston, accuses the right and Republicans of attacking her because she's black. We might find out that she's
not it. We don't care about that crap anymore. They're
No,
trying to make you
no,
think
that's the deflection. The deflection.
yeah.
They're attacking me because I'm black, because I'm a black
Right.
woman.
And that's what I'm saying. You can't use that so much anymore because they're trying to make you think that there's a race thing between whites and black, and there's really not. There's still people out there that hate black people, and there's still people out there that hate white people, but the majority of us, that's not. We don't care.
Right.
You're our brothers and sisters.
Well, it's not just that. It's this. If you are going to try to deflect
it don't work anymore.
This accusation that you're plagiarizing, you cannot steal the deflection used by President Gay when she was being targeted for plagiarism. So you're gonna have to use a different argument. It's not good enough that you're a black female in the workplace. You're gonna have to steal somebody else's answer to this question. Resign. In fact, resign and shut down your entire department because nobody needs a DEI office. Okay. I really want to get to this, but we got a couple more stories. We'll hit this one quick because I know we're short on time this morning. Arizona Republicans are seeking to make child sex trafficking punishable by life in prison. What do you think about that? Child sex trafficking.
I think that's too lenient.
How about life in a Pinewood box underground?
How about you become a forcible castrati, and then we put you in a box, and then you get the front of it opened for 5 minutes every day, and then we close it. And during that 5 minutes, you have to eat your one meal a day, and that's fair.
Yeah. Arizona can do whatever they want with child predators. I'm okay with that.
Hey, let me tell you, as a dad, since we're your two dads, let me tell you, watch your children always. I am. What are you looking at?
Miss Danger says, "Isn't it a life sentence already?" To which I'm like, I don't know. Why wouldn't it be?
It's weird though when they say life sentence. It's only like if it's life sentence, they can get eligible for parole for like a certain, But if it's life sentence without the eligibility of parole, they're in there. I mean, it's so because I didn't understand for a while. It's so crazy.
And it's also like, oh, the prisons are too packed, so we gotta relieve the pressure. We gotta let some people out because we got too many people coming in. So we'll just let off these pedophiles or whatever that don't have life sentence without parole. That's what they do. You do get put on a predator list. Like, for instance, I don't remember the website right now, but you can go and look up based on your zip code exactly how many.
Don't do that unless you really want to be fucking freaked out.
Right. Like, oh, I didn't know I had friends on that list. You don't want to.
And neighbors. And you're like, oh my God. No, that list will freak you out. So that's why I'm saying the girls and my ex went to the mall over the weekend and some friends and stuff. And she was texting me and she was, concerned because these people were walking around with these phones and she kept seeing these guys walking around, and she freaks out like that anyway. But we were talking about it, and it's just, I have noticed certain things before, like one time the girls were walking in somewhere and you seen this one guy nod to his buddy, and I pay attention to crap. I'm not.
You need to
get your face out of your phone.
Yeah,
and pay attention to stuff.
Keep your
because I live in a small town.
Yeah,
I don't live in a big city.
All right. Let's see. President Donald Trump The state of Illinois election board has unanimously voted to allow Trump to be on the ballot. Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
They're
of
not.
you. Thank
They're
you.
not.
Bunch of
You know,
crooks.
wantonly disregarding constitutional requirements for election to the president, and they are going to allow the president Donald Trump to be on the ballot. Good for you,
Nice.
Illinois. Joe Biden actually says, somebody asked Joe Biden, hey, what do you think about the fact that they're allowing Donald Trump to be on the ballot some places? And Joe Biden said, that's fine. That's a quote. Okay. And let's see. One other thing. Donald Trump has once again been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, he's the only president in our lifetime not to start any new wars.
The Nobel Peace Prize means nothing. That is more awesome than a Nobel Peace Prize. And I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, let me talk to you about this for a second, Duke.
JJ wants to get to talk about his comic books. We're not.
I really want to.
So he just wants to talk about it.
I don't care about anything else. There's like, what is this? There's Denver. Denver is a city of 710,000 people, and they're struggling to cope with 40,000 migrant arrivals. Oh no!
I have one. You go ahead, because I have a story, but you go ahead.
I gotta tell you about this.
Silly. Yeah, go ahead.
I picked this up yesterday at the comic shop.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like a really old comic. Yeah, it is a really old comic. It's Doctor Strange, Volume 2, number 79, published in 1986.
Okay.
And I read this comic in 1986.
When you were 9? 8.
Yeah.
I was 9.
And in particular, there is one panel in here. So, this is what I want to tell you about. It's a Doctor Strange comic, and so there's like, I don't know, sorcerer shit or whatever. Let me see if I can see this while I'm doing this. So you have Doctor Strange out on a date with Morgana. Out on a date, they're having a lunch date, they're having dinner or whatever, and they get attacked by this demon. And he just opens a door up and gets in and he shows up, and then, oh my God, Doctor Strange has to respond. This is the thing that got me into comics. This panel right here. Doctor Strange says, "Oh,
it's
no."
hard to hear you.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can see it.
It's all right. Just describe. I see it.
Yeah, here. Okay, here we go. Doctor Strange picks up a butter knife. He says, it's not enough to do mist magic here. I need something physical to fight this guy with. He picks up a butter knife. He turns it into a giant flaming sword, and then he goes at it against this demon.
And that got you into comic books?
This 3-panel sequence, I remember reading this and thinking, that's crazy. He just picked up a butter knife and turned it into a flaming sword, and then he just went, started fighting this demon. And for me, that little story sequence, I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but for me, that little story sequence was like, oh my God, like you can do anything in comics. Anything mundane can become like fascinating. So this issue, it's been however long it is since 1986. I don't even know how long it is. 28 years, 30 some years. How many years is that?
I don't want to think about that. It'll make me depressed.
Oh my God, it's almost 40 years.
Shut up. Shut your mouth.
38 years ago.
I don't remember what panel got me into comics, but the X-Men got me into comics. I like the X-Men because they were different, and everybody didn't like them, but
right.
They were normal. They were different.
Right.
And they were different than the normal of society. And
they were always an allegory for the outsider.
Yeah,
the kid
that feels.
It's brilliant because every kid at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever, going through that portion of your life, everybody feels like they're the outsider. Like everybody. So it literally has universal appeal. So I didn't really read Doctor Strange beyond this issue. I went on to read Spider-Man and X-Men. I loved the X-Men too, before it was totally gay.
Yeah, see, I read X-Men, but I didn't. Once X-Force came out in the early 90s and whatnot, I switched gears. Cable his story was just like, I was like,
Yeah, time travel, sliding through. What did he call it?
yeah, it
Body
was just,
slide, body
yeah,
slide by 2.
it was just his story and it was just, I mean, you can see it back there in the back. I've
Oh
got
yeah,
2 Funko Pops and both of them are cable that was sent to me from the podcast. When we did the podcast, I had somebody send them to me. I think it
The-
was Moose, maybe. Remember Moose?
yeah, yeah,
You need to look him up. Okay, I'm going to send you his link on Twitter. Moose,
yeah.
he's a guy that we played Contest of Champions with. He might still play, but he did the 3D printing, and he does the 3D printing of the comic book stands. So like
Oh yes, yes. I
the,
know who you're talking
I
about.
think they're called Wham stands, WHAM
Yeah.
stands. So look that up on Twitter. He's a buddy of ours. He 3D prints them. That's his own business. They are awesome. These little comic book
Oh
stands. Like
seriously?
you could get one. Let me just look them up real quick. We'll give him a free plug on the show, man.
For
Right here.
sure. No, I've seen you for real of Wham
No,
stands.
dude.
Let's see.
Yeah, hang on. I got it right here. It's just got to pull up. So check these out. 3 days. Well, what the hell? Okay, this must be okay. Let me go to his Twitter. Here's his Twitter. Is it still showing on the screen? Okay, yeah. Here's his Twitter. Wham Stan at Wham Stan.
Wham stand shop. It looks like.
At Wham Stand. So you see those are interchangeable. These are the interchangeable ones, but that's the stand. See, you have that one just says wham.com. You can get it to say whatever. Magnus, with the Magnus logo. There's Moose there. He played with us. He listened to our podcast all the time. The Wolverine logo, Deadpool logo laying there. You can get them interchangeable. It's pretty sweet, dude.
Let's see. Does he? I mean, I went to the store and the store website's counting down something.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've always talked to him on Twitter.
I mean, he posted some of these like last year.
I mean, let's look. He doesn't have a lot of followers, but I know a lot of people. I think Dave has bought some. Dave very well may have some.
I don't. I mean, look, I'm a grown up. I don't really hang stuff up in my house, but
No,
I
man.
might. I really might hang this on display just because for me it's like I remember, and I
Yeah.
had read comics before this, but like Spider-Man and like stuff, where they've given you a stock and whatever, you flip through it over. I didn't care. This made me care, and then from this, I launched into like really a lifelong hobby.
Well, I've
I've
got-
got like thousands of dollars in books.
The 3 that I have put up at home are a cable Deadpool. It's just a random cable Deadpool, but my daughter bought it for me a long time ago for Christmas and used her own money to buy it. So it's precious to me, even though it's just a random
Yeah.
book. But my other 2 are the Uncanny X-Men 201 and second printing of New Mutants number 87. And both of those are the first appearance of Cable, Baby
Right, yeah.
Cable and Real Cable. So I have both of those in like a display case, but I want to get them numbered or certified.
Oh, graded. Get them
Graded,
graded.
graded.
Yeah. Get them slabbed. Yeah.
I have an interesting story to get off of comic books here for a minute. I
Sure.
have an interesting story here that you might like. I just had one, but I saw this story yesterday and I read it and I'm like, okay, and I didn't put it in. I thought about putting it in our show notes and I didn't. And then I saw it again today and I'm like, okay, let's here, and if we have time, I'll make fun of this story. You'll see this story because over the weekend if you haven't seen it already. But Amelia Earhart's plane wreckage may have after 87 years. What happened to the story?
Oh,
The story disappeared from.
I'm not touching it. I don't know.
I don't know. It disappeared from the screen there. So I just wanted to point out that I'm not going to go over this story. I'm going to go over what the editor told Kat Bailey here. See, this is by Kat Bailey. Okay.
Okay.
This is Kat. And Kat is a journalist with close to 15 years experience in the games media.
Games media.
Yeah. She was
Okay.
a US gamer and all this, and she played paper, rock, scissors or whatever. So that's cool. So there's Kat. So this is conversation with her editor over this. Hey, these guys were in this boat using this fancy sonar. She said, yeah. And they passed by. They were like 20 knots past. And they were like, look at this. It looks like a plane. And the guy was like, oh, we're close to where Amelia Earhart was supposed to have refueled. Oh, it's got to be her plane. So write a story over that. And that was the story. Okay. So basically, a boat using fancy sonar found a plane in the water.
In the Pacific.
And it happened to be close to the island that Amelia Earhart was supposed to refuel on. So they also said that it could be any other thing down there, and it could be a different plane because the wings don't look like Amelia Earhart's plane. But
right. Didn't we lose like a lot of planes over there during like World War II?
You would think maybe. So there's what they found in the stuff, but they didn't notice it until they were way, way past it, so they couldn't turn around. But they promised to go back.
Couldn't that be an anchor? It looks like an anchor.
That
doesn't look anything like a plane that Amelia Earhart would have flown.
So I just want to point out one more time the excellent journalism of Kat Bailey. Thank you, Kat.
I wonder how she never got out of games. How she got out of games media and never she's climbed that rung.
I don't know. Live.
She's probably being held back by
diversity hires.
Race. Probably not.
I'm sorry.
Probably not. All right.
Isn't that how? Wait a minute. A do good said. Isn't that how all good journalists corroborate their stories? Absolutely.
You got to have at least two sources, and she talked to nobody on the boat about. She talked to somebody who heard something about the boat.
But it gets clicks. How many? We clicked on it. We clicked on it.
Got to be careful with them tricky fake stories, bro. All right, you got a guest coming into the show, and and so we're gonna wrap up a little bit early here. If you guys haven't already, please like, subscribe, share the show, let everybody know how fun and great it is to start your day with us. Right.
That's right, JJ. You're exactly right, JJ. Sorry. All right, I got the perfect joke.
Well, yeah.
I got the perfect joke to follow up that story. All right.
Sure. Okay.
What lays at the bottom of the ocean and shakes?
Oh. Lays at the bottom of the ocean and shakes?
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's a nervous wreck.
No, laugh. All right, Deke. Is it basketball season right now?
Yes, absolutely.
It is. I figure you know this. Why is it that Cinderella can't play basketball?
I don't know this one.
She's always running away from the ball.
Oh.
It wasn't bad.
All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with more scintillating stories and news that you need to start your day. We'll probably even break some stories. I bet we're as good at journalists as IGN_Cat for sure. Thanks for watching. We'll be back. I lost the outro button. I found it again. Bye. This is Morgan, my daughter's. I didn't stop. This is Morgan, my daughter's favorite cat. Video's glitchy this morning. Restream. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. Rumble.com/.